Graduate from Hansraj College, Delhi University. Articleship from EY, clearing all CA levels in first attempt. Post qualification working in PwC for almost 4 years, and now all set to embark the new journey for MBA in ISB. I'm pleased to welcome my friend Parul Mahajan. Hi Parul.
Hi Nupal, thank you for such a warm welcome and introduction.
Pleased to welcome you. I've known you for so many years, and I know that you have been such a scholar through and through. Can you tell us something about your journey for college or during articleship that helped you in becoming CA and helped you in your journey?
So I am not very proud to admit that I have been a nerd throughout my school. So I think somewhere I felt that college was very important for me because it would expose me to a new life. I got to meet new people, and it was a different vibe. There was I did not take the pressure to be, that I have to be first in the class or I have to really score the highest as much as I can. The intent was to enjoy, to explore new places which were famous. You would know Kamla Nagar ki market. So those things were on the top. For the first time, my priority was not studying, but it was exploring that place and understanding how college feels, because you've been, you watch a lot of TV serials in which you saw how college was. So you really want to see how it is like. After 8-9 months, I had relished my college life. So I thought now it's time to start preparing for IPCC. I did my coachings alongside college and I got done with my IPCC within my college days. I wanted to enjoy the first year, study in the second year, and then enjoy again in the third year. My articleship was from EY, and I had no idea during my college. I remember people used to talk and get stressed about articleship, and I was like, "Ho jayega, articleship kya hai?" But I had no idea what Big Four was. I was okay with interning anywhere. But suddenly, when I saw, there is this thing when you see everyone is applying somewhere, Big Four ho raha hai pura time. So I thought I'll also give it a try, and I'll also give an interview with one of the Big Four. So all of my friends were going, and it was a walk-in at EY. So I just went, and I was dazzled to see how the office was, how the corporate field was, how professional was everything around there. So I loved the vibe of the place, and I thought this is where I want to be. So obviously that pushed me to give 100% in my interview as well. And as it was destined, I got through. Articleship with EY had been amazing. It exposed me to a different world altogether. I think not just in terms of technicals, I learned a lot in terms of soft skills, in terms of people management, in terms of managing difficult clients, doing everything in an organized manner, documentation, a lot of things, how you go about things in a very systematic and organized manner where there are processes which are built for everything. So that was a great learning that came from EY. We used to have a lot of sessions, trainings on corporate behavior, team building activities. There were interns who got to interact with people from all over the world. So this was definitely a great experience that I was exposed to at the time of articleship itself. And one thing I want to add to my articleship experience, I think one most important thing was that I started and I made my plan on day one of my articleship as to how I would go about my coachings for CA finals, because there are a couple of coachings that you require to take, and you cannot defer it till the end because you need sufficient time for self-study as well. So I think I would suggest everyone to just not take it lightly and not defer coachings and everything to the last moment. Just start on the first day of articleship itself, have a plan, be persistent, and I think then getting done with CA should not be that difficult.
I think a great lesson. That is what happens in articleship. Most of the people, they defer it to the last year of their articleship or the last 1.5 years for that matter. So the first 1.5 years is something that they miss on. And that is something which I think is a very good advice, and it will help a lot of students to plan in advance so that they're not waiting till the end and they are then just rushing upon things.
Correct. Absolutely. I'm sure you would have done the same.
Yes, I did. In fact, everyone have their own experience, right? So I remember some of my seniors were like, "Why do you have to start studying right now? अभी तो तुमने articleship join करी है, पहले काम सीख लो." So no wonder you have to actually learn the work that you have to learn, because articleship is the first exposure towards the corporate world, right? So you have to learn whatever you have to learn, and you have to learn the basics, etc. But at the same time, the main focus should always be that you have to get your CA clearance and you have to qualify, and that main focus should never lose the attention. So I think planning in advance is a great advice. What really I feel is that some of the students might also clear even when they're planning in the last few months. So it is actually the appetite from student to student what they want to do. But what is genuinely very important is that you plan in advance, because planning in advance doesn't hurt anybody, but planning in the end may or may not work for you.
Where you cannot go back in time. Articleship itself gives you the first exposure towards multitasking and balancing two different things at one point in time, and both of them being equally important.
Absolutely. Parul, you qualified in the very first attempt, and then you joined PwC. You worked in corporate and international taxation for 4 years, and now you have embarked on this journey of doing an MBA. So why MBA after CA, and why ISB?
Yeah, so I'll of course I love my job, and you know that. So I'll answer this in two parts: why MBA and then why ISB. I come from a business family, so I always had this inclination towards starting my own business, or at least know how a business is run at at a corporate level. So when I started with my articleship, and over the years, I realized that all I was doing was one function of business, which is finance and compliance. But I wanted to have a more holistic picture of how a business is run, the various other functions also. I didn't get the exposure till now: sales, marketing, operations, etc. So I think what better than MBA to explore a business holistically and touch upon these functions as well. So this was the reason of doing an MBA. And ISB, I think one major factor in deciding where you want to do your MBA from is the location where you see yourself settling in the long term. So for me, it was India. And of course, when it was India, then I don't think I really had a lot of options other than ISB. ISB, as I think, as most of us are aware, is one of the top B schools in India, and is ranked 23rd globally by FT Times. It's known for its renowned faculty and strong alum network. So I don't think the choice was difficult at all.
So based on the stats that you've just shared, that ISB is one of the top B schools of India, definitely, and also amongst, I think, 23rd, you said? 23rd in the world rankings. So what's the process of applying towards ISB? And like, if you can just drill it down to 3 or 4 basic steps, what one can do if any person has to apply to an ISB for an MBA?
It's a long process, and I think it takes three main steps to it. First is that you need to get done with your GMAT with a decent score. The average GMAT score for ISB typically revolves around 710. And post that, once you're done with your GMAT, you have to apply by filling in a detailed application form, which has to be filled in my cycle in 2020. The date was 20th September, and typically the first round is around 20th September itself. So the application involves questions as to why you want to do MBA, why do you want to do it from ISB, what are the leadership qualities that you have. The questions may change year on year, but the intent kind of remains the same. Second important thing is the letter of recommendation. You need to have a letter of recommendation from your immediate supervisor, preferably. And that is a very important point in substantiating what you've written in your application as well. Next, and the last process, if your application gets shortlisted, then you are required to appear for the interview, and if you clear the interview, you get the admit.
Great. So you said first GMAT, then your application, and then your interview process.
Correct.
And in your application, you need to also have letter of recommendations, and those applications and the answers to that applications are generally long answers, right? They're not like one paragraph. They're like typically your story of your life. What have you done?
Correct.
How you've done, and what is your objective and what you more need to do.
Correct. And of course, these answers require a lot of introspection. You really need to be on the point and very clear as to your objectives.
So, Parul, you spoke about GMAT as the first step. Can you shed some light on time does it take to prepare for GMAT, or is a coaching really necessary, or if a person is already in a regular office, can they prepare alongside office, or would they need to take a break? Any sort of guidance that you can share here?
I think the only guidance that I can share here is that there is no guidance to it. The point is, it will depend upon the individual. It will depend upon the pressure that you have at the job, your work timings, a lot of things. So I have heard people who have been able to get a great score by preparing for just 1 month. And there have been others who have been able to manage a great score, but it took them a year to prepare, maybe alongside office because their working hours were such. So I think anyone who advises you on that it may take 1 month, 2 months, please do not go by that. It is something which is very individual. And if it's a science student, it might just be a little easier. Commerce student, we are generally not, we are not used to the pattern of the exam, so it might just take a little longer. It totally depends.
But generally, people do take coachings for GMAT.
I think a lot of people do self-study as well, and most of the people do it alongside office, because GMAT is generally for ISB in India or foreign colleges. They have a work experience requirement. So because of that, generally it's the working professionals who appear for GMAT and they do it alongside us.
And you just mentioned about work experience. So for a CA aspirant who wants to also do MBA from ISB, the 3 years of articleship period, that's I think the main question in the room. Will that experience be counted in the work experience, or there will be only a work experience post qualification for a CA student?
Yeah, so I think that's the sad story of life. Articleship is not counted as work experience, counted as a part of an academic curriculum and not a full-time experience by ISB. So definitely that those 3 years of articleship, you mention it in your application, but then of course it's not counted. So we need 2 years of work experience post-qualification to be able to apply to ISB. And that's minimum work experience. Average work experience people have here is 3 years, 4 years.
But for IIMs, there could be a situation where they take even without work experience.
IIMs do not have a criteria for a minimum work experience.
So you have just mentioned that, about the 3-step process. One is your GMAT, then is your application, then is your interview. Amongst these 3-step process, what was your most interesting part of applying and getting through in ISB?
The best part is the interview. Interview is, for the first time you face an interview where you have 2 alums and 1 person from admissions committee. So 3 people are taking your interview. It's either 2 alums or there are 2 alums, 1 person from the admissions, and the composition keeps on changing. The questions here are around the application. I did not experience any technical questions per se. They were all around my application. They check the clarity, and of course these are smart people. So what you've written in the application is actually true or not. So that's one thing. And apart from that, of course, what they want to test is your communication skills and presence of mind, if you're able to answer upfront. So these are the things which are tested.
It's quite interesting, that the alums are actually part of the interview process. So in the entire duration of your interview process, was there any question that you were grilled on?
I think I was grilled on every question. But the point was, the most interesting out of those was the failure question, as in, so I was asked that you've written very good things in your application and what we can see. The point is that tell us about a situation when you failed completely and what lessons did you draw out of this. So this was a unique and an interesting question because failing is inevitable. Nobody is so perfect that you never fail. You would fail. But the point is that how you handle that failure, what lessons you draw out of it, and how you improve if you're in the same situation the next time as well. So I think this was the most interesting question that I was grilled on.
So, to any aspiring student who wants to do an MBA, or to any CA student for that matter, or any person who's currently in college but aspiring to be in ISB, what would be your takeaways to those people?
Takeaway is, I move at your own pace. For any CA student, a lot of times people will tell you don't waste 3 years in college. And I think this is my personal view. Obviously, it's out of my own experience. Going through a college helps you in numerous ways. Personality development. Tomorrow, in your helps you with your articleship, helps you with your MBA. So I think move at your pace, enjoy the process. There is no hurry. Possible for you, one should definitely do her graduation from a regular college. Also, when you are in a regular college, I think this is one thing that I missed, but I would highly recommend people to do, is just be the part of the societies, various events which help in college, go for teamwork, because at that time you have a lot of time to do all these things, and if you do these things, these are really going to help you throughout your future. Because even if you apply for an MBA in India or outside college, there would be a question around extracurriculars, what you've done apart from work, what you've done apart from academics. So I think it's very important to build on that aspect of life. Goals have no ending. You would want to rush through CA, complete CA, then you would want to do MBA, then you would want to be a partner, then you would want to be a senior partner. So it's not going to end anywhere. So try and relish everything that you are doing and enjoy that journey. Second thing is, whatever decision you take, maybe if you're a school student and considering if you should do a CA, and if you're a CA student who is considering, where to work, Big Four, non-Big Four, or you want to do an MBA, etc., whatever position you are in, just be very clear of why you are doing a particular thing. Just do not do it because 5 other people are doing it. Understand your reasons of doing it, and only then pick that up. Because you may just do 5-7 courses, but you may not find contentment in any of those. So as far as practical and as far as possible for you to introspect your interests and do the relevant courses accordingly. You don't have to do it all.
I think that's so true, and I have just made a video about this thing itself, that why should CA students, all students, especially CA students, should go to a regular college. Because most of the times it is the CA students, they want to rush to become a CA, and they feel that now CA is equivalent to a post-graduation degree, and hence they don't need a regular college, or they don't need a regular graduation degree, and they miss on that fun of those 3 years, the entire personality building. And that is what I think people are not able to appreciate till the time in the later stages of life, when they feel that, oh shit, we would have done that. 1 or 2 years here or there in 40 years of your career span would not matter that much, but this character development stage is what will take you to great heights in the longer run of your career. Because career is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and in this marathon we should be enjoying each and every lap and enjoy the process. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. Thank you so much for sharing your time. I hope everybody who's listening to you and who watched this video would have taken some valuable inputs.
Thank you, Rupal. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to just be able to share my journey. And of course, I've just touched upon all the points very briefly, of course. And if anybody has any specific questions or wants any clarification or details regarding whatever points we've touched, please feel free to message me on LinkedIn, and then we can connect, and I'll try to help as much as I can.
Guys, you can also put it down in the comment section if you have any specific questions regarding ISB, MBA, an MBA after CA, and we'll try to answer them either in the comment section below, or you can reach out to Parul. I can provide her LinkedIn in the description box.